Yo, what's poppin'? I'm back with another tutorial finally. And today this one's just gonna be a little bit more simple. It's like basic transitions, whatever. This is for absolute beginners at After Effects. Let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to import our files. I want All right, so assuming you have all of your clips in place, that's a good thing. Now, a little tip here, when you import your stuff and like it doesn't immediately resize, you can go to transform, you right click on your clip, go to transform, and then you can select fit to comp. That's what that does. Same for this one, transform, fit to comp. Okay, now see he's a little bit squishy now. That's when we just go and scale it up. And then we change the position to whatever we like. There we go. And then same to this one as well. Should be good. And what we want to do is pre-compose these. Make sure that these are the selections, and we're gonna hit OK on all of these. So for transitions, what I like to do first is enable motion blur. So go ahead and select these on 2 or 3 clips here, whatever clips you have. And then what I would do is right click on the side here, go to new, null object. So it's gonna show up like this, and you can always cut it to fit your clip. So what null layers do is they basically act as like another master layer or whatever. So this layer can control this one, and then you can overlap like transitions and keyframes and stuff. I'll go into that in a second. But what we're gonna do first is parent this clip to the null, so the null can control it now, and then we can start using it as if it's like a transformation layer, master layer, whatever. Okay, so let's just make a simple transition. First, in the beginning, I'm going to do like a little zoom out. So what I like to do is I start with a keyframe, and I will drag it to the end. This is the original keyframe that we didn't manipulate at all. And then we're gonna create a new one by just like zooming in or whatever. All right, cool, great. So we have a simple zoom out in the beginning, which is cool, but it's not gonna look good, right? That's very linear, very linear. So what we're gonna do is press F9 on our keyboard, and what that does is it eases the keyframes, and then we can go into the graph editor here. Now, if your graph editor looks like this, you can always click on this button down here next to the eyeball, and it shows up edit speed graph or value graph. Both of these can be used for different things. Personally, for like transition edits and 3D edits, I use the speed graph because the shapes will move fluidly. I don't want to start stop motion, but I'll go into that another time. So we're going to select edit value graph for now, and then we're going to edit it as such. Think of this as like a skate ramp or something, or like a car accelerating, or whatever. It's gonna start fast and then gradually get slower. That's what that is. All right, cool. So we have a simple zoom out here. Awesome. Now for the next transition, let's say we want to do a slide or whatever, right? We're going to make another null layer, cut it to the same length, and then instead of parenting this to this, we're going to parent the null 1 to null 2, so null 2 can control this one. Null 1 to null 2, and now null 2 has control over the layer. Oh, I almost forgot. Literally, we can add motion tile. I suggest that you add motion tile. So my personal settings are 400 by 400, and I like to mirror my edges. Okay, now to make this a smooth transition, we do not like start stop motions here. We like to keep things constantly moving. So my biggest tip to all of you guys is to create a keyframe in between these 2 keyframes. And what I mean by that is, instead of starting, let's say, a keyframe at the end here when your transition or your movement is already ending, start it in the middle. So it's once this ends, the next one has already started. You'll see what I mean. So we're gonna do an X position, we're gonna do a slide, and we're gonna put a keyframe in the middle here. See how it's in between these two here? And then we're gonna just slide it over, something like this. Okay, cool. So yeah, it can already move. And then we're going to easy ease that, go back into the graph editor here, and instead of it starting fast, we want it to start slow and then get faster. So remember, this is like a ramp or a car. It's gonna start slow, and then as it gets steeper, it's gonna go faster. So, right, nice. That's a little cutesy patootie transition we got there, or starting transition. It starts in the middle. It looks nice. So we're gonna do that to the next clip as well. We're gonna create another null object. We can close these now. And then make sure you parent it. So parent the original clip to the null. And then we're going to create this transition. So X position, whatever you did here, the values are gonna be opposite here. So if you did like positive values here, they're going to be starting from negative on the other side. So I'm going to drag the original out so it can revert to the original, and then manipulate the first one. I don't know why I said negative. That only really applies to rotation or whatever you're doing. So here we go. I forgot to add motion tile. Motion tile 400 by 400. Okay, cool. So we went to, yep, kind of like pushing it like that. Select these keyframes, F9, and then start fast, steep, and then it can slow down here. Yep. It's a little quick here. I don't really like it. So you can change the graph for it to look a little bit smoother. I tend to put my graphs up like this. I don't want it to be too harsh, and it requires some tweaking, but it's all experimenting and stuff. We can add a shake to make this more fluid later. Now that we have a first smooth transition here, cool, we're gonna create the next one. Same thing as last time. New, null object. Make sure it is the same length. You don't necessarily have to, but it's easier to organize. Connect null 3 to null 4, so then null 4 can control the layers underneath it. And I want to do another zoom out. Did I already put on? Okay, I did. So press U on your keyboard to reveal any keyframes you have. And I'm sorry, I should have explained this in the beginning, but yeah, the S key is for scale, T is for opacity, R is for rotation, and P is for position. So scale, we're gonna start it in the middle of these keyframes and then go towards the end, and we'll do a zoom out about like 42 or whatever. Then we'll bring it here. And then we will mess with the keyframes like this. Now, if I want to do like a little fake zoom in before zooming out, what I can do here is in the beginning of the transition on the graph editor, if I pull this up a little bit above this line here, which is like the 0 point kind of, it'll zoom in before zooming back out. And this is what that looks like. Nice, a cute little zoom there, whatever. Let's see. So, yep, I'm gonna do the same here. I'm just gonna create another transition and whatnot. Be right back. Oh, one thing to note here is, it's always nice to kind of exaggerate like how much you want it to zoom in or like zoom out or whatever. It looks nicer, in my opinion, compared to like if you were to put it, like maybe 130 to 0 or 130 to 100. Scaling from 200 to 100 is a bit nicer, in my opinion. It looks nicer with a tighter graph or whatever. So we're gonna do this. And then we should have a decent small edit, I guess. Cool. There we go. That is how you do transitions. And this method applies to literally anything that you do. So, doesn't matter what it is, like rotations or 3D and stuff like that. This is just like the absolute basics. So this is how I layer my keyframes and how I contain flow. Thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully make another tutorial sometime in the future. Yeah, bye.